Hello everybody, this is David Edelman for Data House Media, and I'm here with Colin Rando of No Water Studios to present his latest short film, The Fish, which is making its debut at the Cannes Film Festival, and he's leaving tomorrow morning.
Hey David.
Hey Colin.
Back in town.
Yeah baby.
Love you too, Mom. Alright, is this shit in focus?
Thank you for coming into your room. This is his room. Thank you for having me in your room for the interview.
Welcome to my
Tell me about The Fish. How did it all start?
32, shot 1, take 3. And action!
It started at a party. It was an idea. There was a betta fish on the table, and there was a girl who just arrived in Montreal, and she was really naive and gullible. And I told her that in Montreal, one of the things that they have are underground illegal betta fish fights.
What is a betta fish fight? What does it look like?
Okay, so betta fish fight is a bunch of people around a small jar, okay? And then you put both of the fish into the jar, and the fish will fight each other.
Death.
If you let them fight long enough, to the death. But traditionally, fights are broken up when there's a clear distinction between one winner and a loser. In nature, these fish are very territorial. So, when they come into contact with each other, they establish dominance. So when they're put in these little bowls, they're going to fight each other until one decides that it doesn't want to keep fighting, and it will swim to the bottom, and the other one will then assume the role of the dominant. And it was a joke, but she believed me and started asking a whole bunch of questions. So on the spot, I created this world just to kind of see how far I could lead her on. And in the process, that world was so good that I convinced all the people around me who knew it was a joke right away, at the end of the evening, believed that this actually existed in Montreal. Yeah.
Wow. And if you could turn a small group of your friends, then maybe you could turn everybody.
Well, that's what happened. I wrote a little note to myself on my phone and said, write a screenplay about this. And the next morning I woke up, started writing, and
Fish was.
Then The Fish was born, and it ended up 4 years later, I believe. It's taken that long. Ended up being a 20-minute film that had over 100 people involved in production.
Tell me a bit about your cast and crew.
So off the top, we have Mike Patterson. He's a Montreal comedian, and he plays the boss. He's, the guy who wants to get his fish back.
Look, mister,
It's the boss to you, okay?
All right, look, Mr. the Boss, I don't know what you're talking about, but please stop.
The fish! You fucking moron! Where is it?
He is the one that opens the film with a big punch to the nose to our #1 actor, Raphael.
Who looks like James Franco.
Who is Jimmy, who's the guy who bought the fish.
Okay, we'll have to do this the hard way. Bring the electricity, boys!
No! Please, wait. No, please. Please.
Stop moving.
Please don't do this. Please. Okay. Stop. Look, I'll tell you everything I know, okay? Just please, don't fry my nuts off.
Okay, all right, I'll bite. I'm just gonna sit here and eat a grilled cheese.
And he has an older brother, Simon Elaine, who convinced him to take this fish to the underground fish fighting rinks, where he meets Sean Liu, who is the judge who controls the fish fighting ring and sort of takes all the bets and decides the winners and losers in the fights. And while he's there, he ends up meeting Kim Soo, played by Anne Cassar, who is this distraction in the film. She's the beautiful...
The red herring.
The red herring, the beautiful
red
femme
herring.
fatale in the film. And then, a whole bunch of craziness ensues. We have Oliver Kumsnacha and Mo Judy Lamour, who are two thugs who end up kidnapping Jimmy, And then we have Guido Grasso, who's another Montreal comedian, who is the opponent, who sort of tips them off about, you know, this guy who's been winning all these fish fights. And then we have our main character, played by Sean Curley, who you know, is the absent-minded pet store clerk who sells you know, $10,000 Siamese fighting fish that's been imported from Asia.
And has no clue what's going on.
Has no clue. He's you know, smoking weed, doesn't really care.
Yeah.
And you know, he gets what's coming to him, but it's all sort of not a comedy of errors, but sort of this situations ensue and things happen and kind of.
So it's like Crash, but with fish.
It's like Fight Club with fish,
Fight
kind
Club
of
with fish.
told in a Crash, not sort of like a Crash sort of way.
All right. Only got one shot for this, okay?
One check, one take. Come on, stay focused.
So tell me, you filmed in 9 locations with 10 actors. You must have had some crazy, weird experiences.
Kidnapping in the Park was crazy. It was our first shooting day. We had about 25 people on set. We had a drone filming aerial shots.
Yeah.
We had a giant cheese truck, Le Cheese,
The cheese.
donated a wonderful driver, my friend Pascal, and their truck for a morning so that we could have our 2 thugs kidnap Jimmy out of a cheese truck of all,
things
of all
to get
kidnapping vehicles.
Yeah, the cheese truck.
That was really intense. It was our first day. First time I yelled action as a director.
You good? Okay, action, Jimmy!
And then, you know, we spent 4 days shooting in a basement. You could barely stand up. About 15 people crammed in this hot, sweaty basement for 12 hours a day. And we were doing choreographed punches. You know, Jimmy's getting the crap kicked out of him. We brought in a friend of mine, Tyler Hall. He's a real professional stunt guy, and he came in and, you know, taught our actors how to throw the punches and sell it. It was really cool to have him on set. When I started writing this film, I was sure beta fish fighting didn't exist. And more research I found is they actually do this in Southeast Asia. They do this in Vietnam. You know, it was like one of those little side notes that we added to the script. The restaurant fish fighting location, the guy who's the owner of it, actually fought fish in high school when he was living in Vietnam.
Wow.
And he told me some crazy stories about how he was actually a beta fish fighter.
Wow. So tell me, you're going to Cannes. What are you excited to do in Cannes?
In Cannes, I don't know, it's gonna be nuts. I haven't really thought about it.
Are you going tomorrow?
I'll start with how it started. Flying to Paris, hang out with some of my friends, cross all of France, end up in Cannes. My friend Alexi picks me up at the train station, takes me to his place, and he lives in Le Cannet, which is like on a really high hill above Cannes. And we get to his place, set down my stuff, and his girlfriend's like, "Hey, we have tickets to the premiere of The Lobster tonight. Do you want to come?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. When is it?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's in about 45 minutes. And you have to be wearing a tuxedo with a bow tie." I was like, "Oh shit, I don't have a bow tie." But we did have a black tie. As we're descending Le Cannet and all these like European streets that are like really small and turn all over the place, I have a YouTube video on my iPhone and I'm tying a regular tie into a bow tie, and then boom, got out of the car, ran, got onto the red carpet, and then all of a sudden it hit me. It's like, holy shit, I'm you know, I woke up in Montreal this morning, and this evening I'm on the red carpet at Cannes with a impromptu bow tie that I made in the car 5 minutes before. So that was like, that's encapsulating Cannes in a nutshell of what it was. It was just intense.
Okay, cool. And then what's next? So this was your first time making your first short feature film, and now after this, what is next?
I've been asked by a couple of people on the production, a couple of the actors, or you know, think that we have enough substance, enough story to turn it into a feature. So you know, that's something that definitely could be developed and explored. We're going to have some screenings later on in June. We're going to have a Montreal screening, and that'll be the first like real screening of the film for everyone that worked on it. and for all the people, the fans, friends that want to check it out. And if you absolutely really want to watch a cut of the film, we have you can make a contribution to the project, and we'll send you off a download of the film.
For a sneak peek of the fish, click this button now.
Do I just stand here and wait for the button to
Yeah.
appear?
Oh, gee.